Now, yesterday, Teesside University hosted the 2023 HeadStart Conference, and they've done it for the first time in 4 years. Around about 250 children and young people attended from a variety of schools right across Middlesbrough and Redcar area, and a variety of workshops themed around building resilience, boosting confidence and raising aspiration. They were all on offer there. Now, Adam Hard is from HeadStart, and he spoke to our very own Issy Makepeace.
So the HeadStart Conference is to celebrate emotional wellbeing. We have students across all of our schools in Middlesbrough and Redcar and Cleveland that have been working with us. And their students that have been working with us have all come together with all the other schools to celebrate all the different achievements we've made and how different things can affect our emotional wellbeing.
And why do you think getting young people to find out more about their mental health and well-being is so important?
The whole purpose of our programme is to ensure that further along down the lines our children are aware of what's going on in their lives or what's going on in their brains, how to deal with the different emotions and struggles, and that realistically the programmes that we have offer, like your CAMS, your Link, your Junction, aren't being used for things that maybe could have been solved earlier on the stage. So to have children come together, we've got a large amount of children together today to be able to learn about how different things affect their emotional well-being and their mental health will hopefully educate them further down the line so these services won't be backed up.
So could you give me an example of some of these workshops you've been doing with the children?
I've just sent Mark Proctor, next Middlesbrough football player, has been in today talking about how different joys and the ups and downs of football have affected his mental health, and how some of our young people will be in football academies, will play sport, whether they'll go for the emotions of losing in a final or not being able to play because they've not worked hard enough and being able to push themselves. So having that there is kind of one of the key things of saying actually it doesn't just stop when you become pro or you become really good at something. These things are always going to happen.
And what's been the feedback so far from the children?
We've got some really astonishing children with really good groups, really good teachers that are supervising these groups as well. Obviously we've got a couple of workshops that have been delivered by young people themselves where we've had really good feedback. By the looks of things, there's a lot of smile on people's faces, and that's a joy for me and the rest of the team to look at.
The workshops are themed around building resilience and boosting confidence. If someone's listening to this and is thinking, it sounds really great, but I'm not at the event or my children aren't at the event, how could they boost their confidence in their everyday lives at home or at work?
Trying different things, not being scared to try things, working with someone that you're comfortable with. If you're doing something in a day-to-day life and you're going out with friends and you want to try something different, that's obviously safe and responsible. Doing it in the comfort of maybe your own home or in your own friendship group. Once you're able to build that confidence, the resilience falls hand in hand with it, and you're able to learn to do it more and more. It's all about, being self-equipped with the different bits of materials and information you can use. There's different websites, there's different organisations that provide information if you're struggling to deal with situations. Being able to reach out for help and knowing, and having the confidence to actually speak up and say, actually, I need help, I'm struggling here, and being able to go to someone and get that information.
What are the wider impacts on, our community here in Middlesbrough and wider areas?
Days like today, obviously, we're able to publicise HeadStart and what HeadStart's all about. We're very grateful for all the external agencies that come in, but even more so, our kids that we work with as HeadStarters are trained to become peer mentors for everyone through their path of the HeadStart journey. And having kids that are peer mentors through secondary school or later on in primary school, we're able to say actually people at a younger age or just starting secondary school, they're able to have that significant impact from these peer mentors that we have.
And mental health is such a prevalent subject today. We've got the most common cause of staff sickness in the NHS is due to mental health problems. There's been a surge in prison officer absence due to mental health reasons. So for anyone who's struggling, what would be your advice?
I'd say reach out, even if you don't want to reach out. A lot of people have access to technology, to the internet. We have community hubs where we have internet in there, we have laptops and computers in there. Finding out information if you're not able to reach out or not confident enough to reach out or speak up on such a matter, then being able to look online and find information and tips and being able to find that comfortable path. You're not pushing yourself to do something that isn't actually right for you or comfortable for you, and looking at it and assessing it and going, actually, is this going to get me to the achievements I want? Is this going to get me to the progression I want? Is this going to get me back to where I started? Or is it going to actually take a detour and push me back a bit? Or is it going to be too big for me to handle?
How did you get into doing this?
as an apprentice, I've not been here long. I've been here just shy of a year now. The opportunities always arrive. Obviously, we're connected to Middlesbrough Council, Public Health and Middlesbrough Council. I was fortunate enough to begin this opportunity through my time going through resilience, looked after by the local authority, and previously just left the local authorities and looked after child. So I've committed my life through going through resilience and having to build on the back of really difficult circumstances. And HeadStart reached out. They were looking for someone to fill that position of someone who was well adverse in that kind of situation and knows what it's like to be down the dumps and go through really challenging times. And luckily I was fortunate enough to get through that process, and I've joined the team.
What have you learned about being resilient?
It's all about what you believe you can do. Speaking from experience, going through really challenging circumstances, it's not always about sitting and dwelling on that circumstance and looking at it as a negative situation. It's about building straight away, not allowing time to kind of sit and dwell. But that is my own personal opinion. Some people have different ways. There's no real right or wrong when it comes to mental health in terms of how people deal with it. That's something that we try and teach our kids and even people in the community when we work with people in the community in our agencies, is that actually it's about how you yourself want to deal with it and how you feel is best, and based on the information that people provide, what is the right course of action at that point.
Proper sage-like advice there. That Adam from the HeadStart Conference yesterday at the university, speaking to our very own Issy Makepeace on your BBC Radio team.